Hello, everybody. Tell me if you can hear me and you can see me. You're going to get an echo. We're testing new equipment. We're trying another mic. So I have to get our things set, you know. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you, dear B. Thank you very much. Anna. Hi, Tom. Hi, Desiree. Hi, dear B. Hey, Carol. Hi, Tom. Who else is in here? Hi, Melinda. Hi, Jeremy. We're all running a little bit early. I just wanted to make sure we could get all this equipment going. I went back to the old mic because everybody was saying it was muffly last time. So I went to the old mic. We're going to work with the other mics and see what the problem is. So that's we worked on it some today, but now I've got this thing here in front of my face. I have to watch it and make sure I don't put my eyeballs out. It's better for the mics. This is the mic face here. Yeah, I'm all wired in over here. That was the purpose of the other. So I didn't have to have all them wires. Just saying, I don't like wires. Anybody me on that? So he's gonna fix it. He gonna play Dr. Tech. Hi, Pam. Pam, where'd you go? Kathleen, how you doing? Trying to get me a lozenge for my throat. No pictures. We mean, Jeremy, no pictures. I'm cutting in and out. This one's wired in. It shouldn't be doing that. Let me see if I can boost the signal. All right, how's that? There, B. I had an internet fart. I just watched my screen jerk around. Oh boy. Hi, Carmen. Awesome. Yeah, I just messed with it a little bit. It's called Gotta Play with Things. I don't like the older mics because you're supposed to clip them to your collar. And when I do, you hear every time I move, my clothes do this, and y'all hear it on the mic. And it, to me, that's driving me nuts. Yeah, try refreshing, Jeremy. Now, the buffering and audio cutting up, Tom, if it's buffering at the same time, that's on YouTube's end. That's not mine. We still got tweaking to do. By the way, folks, I just found out the other day we now have a community with YouTube. And the reason is we surpassed 100,000 subscribers on all the channels. Turn my cam on. My cam is on. Oh, Jeremy, she's going to pull the broom out. So, yeah, they put a bunch of new stuff on here, and I'm like, okay, I really don't need this. I hate when they give me stuff that, in my opinion, we really don't need. It's all these bells and whistles. And I mean, we got tatting that's enough, confusing enough. We don't need any more confusion to y'all's classes. Just saying. Hi, I thought you'd get a kick out of that, Derby. You see me now? You had sunglasses on a while ago, didn't you, Jeremy? You ought to see as we get into the chat group together. We'll be talking about class stuff. And I mean, it's comical. It's hilarious. I'll be honest with you. Jeremy's taking the fifth, Anna. He's innocent. Uh-oh, Jeremy, you're in for it now. They're both on. Hi, Desiree. Well, Tom, you got the top crown today. Yeah, we all know about you being innocent, Jeremy. We do. Oh, gosh. We got some fun stuff today. I'm going to give y'all a snippet, just a snippet of some of the fun. See what I've been doing? Y'all see this? All this fun stuff? That's what we're doing today. Mm-hmm. That's just a part of it. I'm thinking of it going back to Technique Tuesdays instead of just Tuesdays class, Technique Tuesday. Because what I'm trying to do is put the techniques out there, and then I find a pattern that goes with the techniques you all learn, and that's what we work on Thursdays. I think it works better because it puts it into practice after you've had time to practice the technique itself. And I just locked up. And I'm back. YouTube does not like this new Starlink. He's going to have to come back. There, you'll get it. You'll get it. It's going to click. And when it does, you're going to say V8 moment. And I do that constantly. Well, I'll give you a goodie. One of the things that we're going to learn today, I have to go into my sample and look up the technique because I could not get it in my brain what I did. And it's easy peasy. And that's okay. At least you found the miss. You know what? You're the only one that would have seen that. Yeah, the bookmark can be done on shuttles as well as on needle. The difference in the pattern is the tool you use. When you figure out the techniques, okay, as you're going along, these are going to sink in. It's not going to be new forever. And when you come across a pattern, you say, okay, now I'm seeing how the diagram is showing it's following through. In order to achieve that, I have to do such and such with this technique. And it automatically will be secondhand to you. Yours turned into a bun holder. Well, I need one of them. But yeah, you'll get these techniques. And once you do, it's like you're going to just automatically, as you're doing a pattern, you're going to say, oh, I know what to do. Oh, I know what to do. Oh, I know what you did. How many of you all crochet? You didn't learn it overnight, right? So why do you think you're going to learn tatting overnight? You're not. It's just one stitch. Everybody says, well, it's just one stitch. It's what you do with the stitch. See, we do so many different things with that stitch, it can get confusing. Okay. And I walk around in a total state of confusion 24/7. So there you go. It's very hard on me. Exactly. Exactly, Tom. And if you look at it that way, it takes the pressure off of you. And a lot of us will put pressure on ourselves to learn something because I'm going to fall behind. You're not behind. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be at that particular moment because it doesn't come easy to some people. Some people catch on right away. Some people, it takes a very long time. I had a student, this was several years back. It took her nearly 4 months to get the, no matter what I told, what I showed, any of it. It was like, it wasn't sinking in. Then all of a sudden, it popped and she caught it. And she's like, I did it. She wrote me at 2 o'clock in the morning to tell me that she finally got the flip. And then when it happened 10 times in a row, my God, you thought the world changed colors. So, yeah. And that's what I'm saying. It comes to everybody in its own given time. Yeah, I've done that too. I've done that too, Tom. In fact, and I'm going to be honest with you, I got so aggravated when I first started. I inherited tatting shuttles. Mind you, this will tell how long ago it was that learned to tat. Okay. That I got my shuttles. I didn't know what they were. My mother gave them to me. They belonged to my great aunt. And she said that that was what she made all the lace go on my dresses with. I was like, great, I want to do that. Because I love what my great aunt did when she made my dresses. I felt like a princess. Okay. And so I was determined. Well, I go to the computer and I look up shuttles. What do I get? Challenger. And hi, Elise. Okay, when to turn over when the pattern does not say. You mean reverse work? Because when we turn our pattern, we're turning it like the pages of a book. Remember that. Reverse our work is top becomes bottom becomes top. Sorry, I got distracted. There's a guy in this camper and he thinks the grassy part's where he's supposed to drive. Yeah, they've all been fighting ice. They're used to sliding around. So back to what I was saying. So everything that came up was a shuttle, Challenger. And I'm like, I'm like, no, there's no way I'm getting in there and flying nowhere. Okay. And I hunted and I hunted and and I was like, I know there's got to be. I got a hold of this lady at the Needle Nook that I used to shop at. And I said, do you know anybody that knows anything about tatting? She says, oh, yeah, sure. There's a lady that teaches it up here on the weekends at the electric co-op. I said, great. That's how small the town was I lived in, by the way. And so I said, great. So I go up to the electric co-op and I ask around, and they all know who she is, but they don't know what she charges, what day she teaches, and blah, blah, blah. Well, I called up there. They gave me a number and told me to call on such and such day. I called up there. She was there. And I asked her, I said, I would like to take your classes to learn to tap. And she says, do you know how to do a double stitch? I said, a double what? She said, a double stitch. And from what you're saying, you don't know how to tat. I said, no, ma'am, that's why I'm calling you. I would like to learn. And she says, I'm sorry. I can't teach you how to do a double stitch. I don't teach anyone if they don't know how to do the double stitch. And I said, do what? I can't find any information on that. And you're telling me I'm supposed to know it before you teach me? And she said, yes. And I charge $189 for 5 classes. I like to go out on the floor. I was like, no, no. So then I went looking. There was 3 places you could get videos. Karen Cabrera, which Speedy Gonzalez, forget it, I couldn't catch it. And that was before YouTube would let you slow down the videos. Okay. And you had Rusticate. Then you had one other that was a foreigner. I didn't understand a thing she was saying. And she kept putting it in there and tearing it out. And well, there was another one. And it was a lady that had a bunch of kids. And the TV was always running in the background. Okay. And you couldn't hear nothing she was saying because the kids were so loud, the TV, it was total confusion. I was already confused because I was told the shuttle I could fly in, right? So I just sit there and I said, I got to learn it. Well, I learned how to needle tat first. Like everybody, I stepped into needle tatting. I didn't like the look. So I didn't apply in my skills on needle tatting like I should have at that correct time. Okay? Because I find out with needle tatting, you get to see how that thread manipulates and works and flows. Okay. Shuttle tatting, you don't see it close. Needle tatting, you do. Well, I got needle tatting rings and chains, and I was like, this is not the pretty lace that was on my dresses. And I backed up and sat down. I have bought, I know, $150 for the shuttles and thread. And I sent it up to the lady that wanted to charge me $189 to teach me how to tat, that wouldn't teach me until I learned to do the double stitch. And I gave it to her because I'd rather give it to someone to use it than to keep it. I want to learn how to do it and can't. I didn't give away my aunt's shuttles. I gave away the plastic ones that I bought. Gave away my tatting needles, whole 9 yards. I was thoroughly disgusted. And Dennis come up with a bright idea. He said, maybe there's somebody else that teaches. Let me see what I can do. He started hunting. He went across Georgia's site. And he said, write this lady and see if she'll teach you to tat. See if she can point you in the right direction. And that's when I met Georgia. And she says, not only can I teach you how to tat, but it's not going to cost you a dime to learn. Unless you've got no time to do it, then that's all it's going to cost you. And to this day, I owe everything I know to that woman because she took pains with me. Lots and lots of pains. Because like all beginners, I didn't know anything and there was no information out there back then. We were in a chancy type of classroom. Try to learn how to do the flip in a chancy type of classroom. Poor man, I'm married to. I feel sorry for him, but at the time I didn't care. He sat up all night listening to me go click, 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 click. Dang it. I was trying to get the flip. Going by George's instructions. I was trying to get that thread to flip. When it did, I jumped square dab up in the middle of the bed. Scared the tar out of him and the dogs. So yeah, I was excited. But that's what I say. It was a struggle, but I was determined. I wanted to learn shuttle. I wasn't impressed with needle, and I'm being honest with you. I don't condemn anyone that uses a needle. As long as you're tatting and it makes you feel comfortable, I'm saying go for it. Okay? I can show you a lot on needle. I don't use 2 needles for anything. There are techniques that require 2 needles. I would like to keep my eyeballs in my head. Okay? I'm just saying. Corinne, I don't know why I've switched the mics and everything. I can't explain why it's cutting in and out, but I have noticed that when people say that, I'm watching my review screen and it's glitching at that same time. So the only thing I can tell you is it's probably the internet. We've got winds here, and between us and the next town, there's some ice on trees. They're losing power because stuff's falling and trees are breaking. So anyway, so the bottom line to it, whatever tool you use it. Be happy in what you learn. If that's what you want to use, be happy in it. But I do advise everybody to learn both tools. I'm not discriminatory. Now, there are people, the older generation, that is totally against needle tatting, and they will shun you. That's not tatting. And that's exactly what they'll say. All you got to do, Tom, is turn it on. Okay? It'll come through. It's in your settings on the video. They will shun you for being a needle tatter because the original way to tat shuttle tatting. That was it. Hi, Janella. And that's what I'm saying. Don't let anybody shun you and tell you you're not tatting. If you're making a ring and a chain and it's got a double stitch on those rings and chains, you are tatting. Doesn't matter what tool you use. You are tatting. But Georgia, and I'll be honest with you, she is one of those bona fide shuttle tatters. But she brings those needle tatters in and she tells them the same thing I'm telling you because I heard it time and time again myself. As long as you tat, that's what counts. It may be unavailable during class, but if you set it before class on your just any video, it'll come up on all videos. I don't know how to set it on this. There is a place that you can for the live version. I got to find it. They keep updating and changing things. We're working it. Okay. We got to get one problem at a time. Right now I got 15 because they changed the website and YouTube and StreamYard. And I'm going over it. So anywho, so that's my story for you guys. Do what you want. Tatting is for each individual, not for a group. Okay? And what I mean by that is just because I use shuttle, you can come sit in my group and you can use a needle, carry on a conversation, and we can tat the same pattern at the same time and come out with the same exact pretty. All right? So with that said, let's get started with today's class. I told you all that we were going to be playing with picots, you know, the double, the triple, and the quadruple. Hi, Fred. But we're also going to do a large head join. That's your surprise for today. And I'm going to show you how to do a double picot on needle. And you will see why I advise the needle for double and triple picots. There's a lot of work to get everything lined up on needle for your double and triple picots. So my advice to you, if you're going to make double and triple picots, do it on a shuttle. Don't do it on a needle. And I'll be honest, okay, it's too much work. It will turn you away from using them. That's the only reason why I'm telling you don't do it. If you want to go in there and you want to try it, just like last week, when we did the technique and it was all over the map, I had all them ends and stuff. That's why I say that's not one made for needle. Okay? Just not. That was the node stitch, I think it was. It's not made for needle if you have to put in a ring or whatever. Okay? You can do it on needle. Just keep your line going. But if you've got a chain that's this long, your needle's this long, yeah, it's not going to work. Okay? So remember, if you use a needle to do some of these techniques, you may have some ends you'll have to hide later. Okay? Just be aware of that. If you want the hassle of using a needle, go ahead. Okay. I'm not going to stop you. I will warn you that it's way too much work. Way too much. Okay. So with that said, I'm going downstairs and we are going to work on this double, triple, quadruple picot. And we got some chains in between too that are going to be fun. All right. We're going to do some playing. All right. Let me switch camera. Da, 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 da. There we go. We are in like Flynn. Now the mic might pick up better now that we're on this camera. I don't know why, but it might. Let it focus here. Get another light going here. Yeah, there we go. Y'all see my goodies. Now, most of you all that have been in here for a while know what these little things are. I get shuttles that's got a little bit of thread and I can make a ring with it. I will sit there and make a bunch of little rings. And these are what I call my demo rings. And I keep them in a drawer. And when I need a ring with a picot to test something, I will pull one of these and I'll use it. I advise you to do the same. You can do a clover so you get different angles. Hi, Angel. You can do just a basic ring. Just make sure your picots are long enough so that when you go to test a technique, you can see what you're doing. Yeah, and remembers them. So that's how I finish off my shuttles. If they've got just enough to do one ring, that's it. And it takes care of it. And then you just practice and move on, get another one. And you use them up to teach yourself the technique. Then once you get the technique steps down, then you can move on to your actual tatted piece. These we're going to use for the lockshead joint. Now, I want y'all to look at this. Can y'all see this? Now, these are a size 20 thread. I hope you can see. But in the middle of the yellow ring, where it's joined on the picot, it looks like a double stitch, but it's not. It's a fake. Okay? And the reason I say that is because it's not a normal double stitch as you know it. You have to do a couple of tricks to get it to do that. But as you can see, it makes the ring look uniform throughout. So it gives a little false pretense there. Okay? So that's what we're going to use those for. So we're going to learn how to do that. All right? And we're also going to learn how to do these pretty little picots. Look at that. This here is a single. This is a double. Let me get it down here. I may be too close. Here's a triple. And there is a quadruple. And there is an extra wide. Now, anybody know why you would need an extra wide picot? Think about that. Give me some suggestions. Why would you need an extra wide picot? Well, maybe you want to make this a center and you want the center ring defined. You can add other joints all the way around. You got it, Elise. You got it. So see, it has a use. If you want it to define like an ear and look like an animal, you can. Yes, it'll work great for a swirl joint. Okay? It does have a use. Now, there are patterns that'll use it and they'll not call it a wide picot. They'll just say a large picot. But if you look at the pattern that's finished and you see a bunch of stitches between the two sides of that picot, then you know it's a wide picot. I'll show you how to do it so that you don't get the two, like this first one, the two sides of the picot involved. Okay? It's a neat little trick. Then we want to talk about this node stitch. Can you guys see this? You see the node here and the node here? This is a Josephine chain or Victorian sets. It's whatever the designer calls it. They will give you the settings, and it'll be 4 first half, 4 second half. Okay. And when you do that, it's going to create a node. Okay. Now I did this on needle. Why did I do it on needle? 1, it looks better. 2, it's easier. 3, it doesn't untwist my thread. Okay. You don't want your thread untwisting this part. You don't want that untwisted. No, you don't. Because when you do, let me show you what happens when your thread untwists. Is I'm going to untwist this. That's what you're going to get. So when you're doing the node stitch and you're doing the Josephine chain on needle, on shuttle, you're constantly rolling that thread, your stitches around your core, and that is untwisting your thread. So then you got to go back the other way and twist it back, but you never get it twisted back the way it needs to go. Okay, so for stitches like this, needle is perfect. Okay, and I've done this to get the Josephine chain in and make it look right. I will unthread my shuttle, thread my needle, do the Josephine chain where it needs to go, finish it out, then unthread my needle, lock my stitches in, unthread my needle, and then rewind my shuttle and go back to shuttle tatting. It's a little bit more time consuming, but I end up with the look that I want and not the destroyed thread that I will get. Does that make sense to y'all? That's why I say there are some techniques that lend their way to needle. There is other techniques that lend their way to shuttle. Okay, so let's pull these off, and then we're going to do another set. Get this out of the way. See how it's twisted on that? This is the god awfulest size 3 thread I've ever seen in my life. This thing's got some twist to it, let me tell you. And it's hard to get it off this needle. It's coming. If I ever get it past the Humpty, it'll be all right. And I don't know why that is. It's this thread. It's just not even fun to play with. Come on. Here it goes. I've got grip here on the desk that I can use. Looks like I might have to. As you can see, that's tight. That's in there. And yes, you'll have this problem. I use the smaller needle because there we go. We got it off. That's going to look like it off, but that's okay. There we go. There it is. That's what it looks like when you're done. All right. So we're going to get that. Pull this back. Hey, what are you doing? There you go. I don't like that thread. Look at that twist. That's a terrible twist. I'm glad this is just a snake. I sure wouldn't buy it. This is Lisbeth. And yes, some of her threads are twisty, twisty, twisty. And I do not like that. Okay, we're just going to do this. I'm not going to fight with this. I'm going to use a size 10 thread, cut that off. There we go. Something you can see better. By the way, if you get your hands on some of these is what they use in the chemo things. You wrap your thread on it, and it gives you a placeholder for your thread when you're using a ball instead of having a ball running around on your desk. Some of these roll off the thread, and then you work from that. It'll make it a lot easier for you. Just yeah. Is that yeah? That's. There are times and places for everything, and this is one of those times. I didn't have a place for that thread. I don't know about y'all, but I'm in no big rush today. We get done what we get done, and we work on it. And then we're gonna work on some pattern this week. I got one I'm looking at pretty close. Just gonna use a couple of these techniques. All right, there we go. This needle threader is about the best thing since sliced cheese. I'm being honest with you. I like that one. Now, another thing is you put your needles in there, okay, and your thread doesn't get away from you. Okay, now the first thing we're going to do, I don't need that big of a needle. We're just going to do the node stitch. Yes, they are available on Amazon. Okay, Jeremy, can you get that link? They're called easy bobbins. Easy. It's got a lot of ease in there. Okay, so we're going to put our stitches on here. We're going to put one stitch at the beginning. When you're working the node stitch, zigzag stitch, any of the above, you want, yeah, bead shop will have them too. You want to put in a double stitch first. That locks everything in between the double stitches because you're going to be using half stitches at this point and they will come off. Now, yes, you all learned how to do a double stitch. Now we're only doing a half of a double. So what I like to do is start off with the first half. Now, if you get a pattern that says second half, just go ahead and do the second half. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I want to show you something. On its own, see this? It's turning around that needle. Isn't that gorgeous? Now that is what a Josephine chain should look like. It should have this twist in it. Okay. And as you're tatting it on needle, you can turn the needle to compensate where this twist is going. Okay. On shuttle, when you're twisting your thread around and it's twisting around, it's untwisting your thread. And you need that twist. So then you've got to back off. Okay. So it's a tension issue, constantly tensioning back and forth to keep your thread from undoing its twist and yet get the delicacy of the Josephine chain. Okay. Now we're going to do the node stitch. So we've started with 10 half stitches, first half on first. Okay, now we're going to go back and we're going to do 10 half stitches secondly. And you're going to catch yourself every time. Okay? You just keep going. And when you catch yourself, if you do put a double stitch in, slide it off and start over. But as you can see, the node is coming in. There we go. We keep switching her up. It's hard to remember not to do that twist in with the first half. Okay, but you see, there is our node stitch right there. It's not very plain. I think I got a little loose there. Goosey. Let me slide it off and I'll do that. Watch what I'm doing here. You just slide off back to that point. Okay, there it is. There it is. It has a full double stitch when you put the node in. Okay, see how it's twisted. Back it back up and continue. And you'll see it because I got it tight. You're going to see that node stitch pop in. There she is. Can you see her? Right. Let's see. Where's she at? There she is. Right there. There's your node stitch. And that is the easiest stitch you'll ever do on needle. Because all you have to do is remember, I'm working on the second half or I'm working on the first half. And if I'm not teaching what I'm doing, when I'm working the stitch on needle, I'm going first half, first half, first half, first half, first half. And it makes it easier. Then I go into the second half, I'm going second half, second half, second half. And I create a rhythm. If you create a rhythm with anything, you will remember. Okay? So there is your beautiful node stitch. And I do encourage you to use it. Okay? Now, if you're going to do this on shuttle, my heart is with you. Seriously, it's with you. I don't encourage you to do that on needle, or on shuttle. But if you want to, you can knock yourself out and you can use needle. Put that over here, get that out of the way. I've got some threads here. All right, what I'm going to do, this is just a short little display. Well, in fact, this here, right here, you see the node? This is what it's going to look like on shuttle. But the amount of twist in this thread that came out made it straight. See it? And that's what happens. It takes the twist out, it takes the curve out, and it makes it straight. You don't have that beautiful Josephine twist to it, and you need that, or it just takes away from it. So I say, don't drive yourself nuts trying to do it on shuttle. Use your needle. Okay, if you don't have a needle, you can use an embroidery needle. It'll do the same thing. All right. If you're interested in getting needles, do so. I find that because I do use needle for certain techniques, it's best to have a couple of size 5s handy or size 3s, just so I can accomplish it. Yeah. Now, here we go. We're going to do the node stitch on here. And I'm going to show you what it does. It's awful. It really is. It's awful. First, we put in our double stitch. This is our locking stitch. And you do this whether you're using shuttle or needle. Now we're going to put in 10 half stitches. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. As you can see, it looks like it's getting bigger and taller. It's not. We've got to twist it around to bring that twist in. Once I twist it around to bring the twist in, it straightens my thread. So go on. Okay, and you'll see this is sloppy, sloppy, sloppy. And it's because, look, you have to literally roll that around to roll, you have to force it around your thread. Let's see, that's the way it's going. Okay. So we start twisting it. We start pulling it around, and it keeps going. So you see what it's doing. You have to literally put that twist in. On needle, you don't have to. No, the stitches are not flipped. Oh, yeah, they're flipped when you're doing it. When you get to the second half part of this, you're going to put a double stitch in. It's flipped. Then you do the second half of the stitch, and that gives you the node. But flipping it, unflipping, it doesn't matter. It still is a problem. I can do it in unflipped. Okay, let me close this off, and we'll do it with it not flipping. Okay. There's 1, 2, and see your stitches are going on the bottom, and they're working their way up and over and around. Okay. And you see it is curling back around itself. So you've got to compensate and turn. Okay. So not flipping the stitches makes it curve better, but you still got the problem. Adding an extra core. Yes, you can add an extra core and give it thickness, but you're still going to have the same problem, Desiree. It's still going to untwist this core thread. This is your core right here. On a chain, your core is here. On a ring, your core is over here. This shuttle. Okay. The hardest part is figuring out what works for you. You can do it flipped or you can do it unflipped. It doesn't matter. You'll get the same, treatment. You'll get the Josephine chain. And when you do the node, you're just putting in a full double stitch in that section. And then you're going with the other half of that double stitch on the back side. And you go so many stitches, and then do another double stitch, and then do the first half, so many stitches. And it's called Victorian sets. Joelle Paulson's got a video up under Frivolity, and she's doing the Victorian sets in that video, and they're gorgeous. You mean a third thread. You're putting a second core in with this. You don't want to do that. You really don't, because if you do, you're twisting all of that thread, and you're going to have it all bunched up inside, and it's not going to move. So I don't advise padding, and that's called padded tatting when you use more than one core. I don't advise doing a third thread for this technique. Anytime you've got to move thread over that core, I don't advise it. You can try it, but if you're bald when you get through, it's not my fault. Okay? I don't advise it because it will drive you nuts. And that's one thing. There are techniques, okay? They don't even do anything because somebody has come up with techniques to make it easier, get the same result without having to go through hoops and flaming hoops like that. So, yeah, there are certain things you just don't do because it's just too much of a headache. And it doesn't make it pretty by doing that because it's going to knot it up. It's literally shredding your thread. And what happens to your thread when you shred it? It's all fuzz. Okay? Now, the Josephine knot is the same similar situation, but it's in a knot form. And you have what they call a Josephine knot, okay? And you have what they call a Josephine ring. What is the difference? They're both made the same way. But what is the difference between the two? The difference is, in a Josephine knot, it literally looks like a knot. There is no hole in the center that you could use to define it being a ring. Okay? The Josephine ring, you can actually see that it's a ring. So we're going to do a Josephine ring first. And the way you do it, you wrap your hand in the ring loom. And you just do however many stitches that's required to make the ring. Okay? And you just keep going, keep going, keep going. Okay? And then according to the pattern, what it says. Okay? And then you close the ring. When you close your ring, your stitches, well, this won't because it's so small. Your stitches will all go one direction. And it makes it look like a little flower, a billowy flower. Okay? This here is a knot. There is no definitive center. Now, if you add a bunch more of these half stitches in there, it makes a ring, and you can define the center. Most times they use a Josephine knot, and that is this. You don't see the center well pronounced, okay? Because the Josephine ring can get fiddly. And again, it's something that it's dealer's choice. You can do it or not. It's up to you. But a knot, you don't see the center defined. A ring, it's like a regular ring, but it's only half stitches. And as you do them, the half stitches are a little bit larger. It's a little loosey-goosey. And therefore, you take a chance on whatever you're making, it's snagging on something and tearing the whole thing out. So I advise, do not do the big Josephine rings. Stick with the knot. Stick with the knot. It's a beautiful addition. Doesn't take many stitches to get done. But it will enhance your work, make it pretty. Okay? And you go around and tell people, it's got Josephine Knots in it. Boy, they think, ooh, she's really smart. And it's the easiest technique you will ever do. It's a half stitch wrapped around your core thread, closed up in a ring. How easy is that? So, we have managed to get those two fun little deals. And I showed you on the chain, on the needle, how to do the node stitch. Now, here we go. Well, I tell you what, we'll get to this because this I want to extend. This here is the lark's head joint. This one here is something you are going to have a ball with. Let me get one of these big ones. Yeah, one big picot. Now, what I'm going to do is tat another ring. Okay? When I get to the joint on that picot, I'll show you what we're going to do. Then we're going to go 7 double stitches. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We got 7 double stitches. Now, what you want to do before you do anything, give yourself plenty of room. Open that ring up. Get your hand in there. Get off some more thread. Again, give yourself plenty of room. Now, you pick up your sample rings. You go down. Make sure you've got a pick. This is a pick. Crochet hook on the end or something. If you don't, you can use a crochet hook. I prefer using the crochet hook because I have more control. My fingers don't move like most people's. Okay? So, pull it up. Just release it off of that shuttle. You want to pull this back thread out of your way. Go twist it counterclockwise, full turn. Run your shuttle through. Pull it down into place. Okay, and as you can see, that twist came out. That's why I prefer the shuttle, crochet hook over the shuttle. Okay, so you've got to have the twist in it. That's the key. You've got to have the twist in it. Because what you're doing is putting in a lark's head picot joint. So what I do is I grab it, pull it up, twist it one full turn, and throw it on my finger like that. Then I pick up my shuttle and I take it right back up through that loop. And then I start pulling it down and pull it down to place. Guess what? We got to go back into that loop again. We're going to grab that, join, and we're going back towards the right half a turn. So what I do is I lay it on my finger, grab the crochet hook, turn it to the right, half a turn, lay it on there, and you're going to come up through it. Now, feed it down. You're going to see that knot fall into place. There she is. Okay, there's your knot. Looks like a double stitch. I'm going to put the other 7 back in it for the other side of that ring. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That one didn't flip. Sometimes they don't want to participate. All right, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is the 7th one. Now we're going to close that ring. All these twisties and stuff that ring wouldn't close. Oh, it's going to close. Just you got to watch your thread because it's going to come back here on this end. Okay. Close it, close it, close it in that pinch. And you now have joined the 2 rings together, and you got to head in the middle. Lefties twist clockwise or to the left. Left people will go to the right first, left second. Right people will go left first, right second. Okay? You go in counterclockwise, then clockwise. If you're left, you go clockwise, counterclockwise. Does that make sense, Fred? So see how easy that was? Now, I do have a video that shows this just by itself somewhere in the box on the YouTube channel. You got to remember we have 250 videos up. I will get a handle on it. Just give me time. I'm still working on the website. Okay, so try this. Get your little sample rings. Try it. Okay. Now, the next fun little joyous thing we're going to do is put that down there, get this out of the way. Now, I did this on needle, okay? This is a double picot. I don't advise you doing this. Let's see. Please. Sorry, what? What do you need? What do you need, Elise? I want to make sure you got it before I move on, sweetie. Okay, now here is one that has a double picot. As you can see, that thread is twisted. First of all, it's going to twist. Now, if you want a little candle flame, there you got one. Use your imagination. You got a candle flame. It looks like a candle flame flickering right up here. And this is the glow around it. You can do it. I will show you how to do this. Oh, you did not want to write that? Okay. That's all right. That's okay, Elise. No worries. So I'm going to show you how to do a double on here. But like I say, I don't advise it for anybody. I don't. And you'll see why. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to rethread this needle. Okay. There we go. You'd think I was blind as a bat. I am. Seriously, I should have binoculars. I think Coca-Cola. The last pair I got was Coca-Cola bottoms. All right, now we're going to make a ring. Then we're going to put a double picot in. Okay, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, just put 4 double stitches in. Slide that down, and you're going to make a picot. It has to be a pretty good size picot because it has to go from here over to here and give you plenty of room. Okay, and on needle, it's harder to gauge than it is shuttle. Shuttle, you can pretty well gauge it. All right, needle, it's hard. So we're going to put in double stitch here. After we get the double stitch with our picot, our extra large picot, we're going to slide it down. All right. Now, got that in. And we're going to put in 1 half stitch. We're going to lay that to the side, slide all this up as far as we can without pulling it off. All right. Grab our hook. Hold our threads in place. Come up over half of that needle. Slide it down. Okay, get it back down out of danger zone. Now, put in that other half. Pull that up. Put in the second half of that double stitch. Okay. Now, if you look right back here on the back side, you can see the other half of that picot. Got to pull it up. It's going to come up. It's going to come up on the front side. And you want to pull them up even. After you get them up, see how they move? Do you want to fight with that all day long? And it's going to slip. It's going to slide. There is no way around it. You have to hold that. And you put in another double stitch. Okay? That's the back end of the double stitch, isn't it? Want to do the first half. Pull it down and then pull down the second half. Lock all that in. Okay? And then you've got to seriously play with these to get it to lay like you want. Okay? And that's why I do not advise doing it on needle because it slips, it slides. You've got to put in a lot of half stitches and stuff to adjust. It's more trouble than it's worth. Okay? So, not going any further because I ain't pulling my hair out today. So we'll move that over here out of the way because we're going to show you on shuttle how much easier it is. All right? Let's get this puppy started. Now we're going to do a double picot first. All right. So to get a double picot, you just have the ring. Okay. Attach your ring. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Got our 4 double stitches. Now you want to let these shuttles hang and dangle and get the twist out. You want to give yourself plenty of work room, okay? Because what you've got to do is you've got to pull this around like this to the length that you need that picot to be a double picot. And what I find that's easier is to grab both threads in the back, the chain as well as the ring thread. And I put in a double stitch. Okay. Now this picot is going to be really, really big. See how big that picot is? That's why I grab both threads to keep it from being a problem child. Now we're going to put in a second double stitch next to it. Guess what we're going to do now? We're going to go down through that picot. We are going to pull it up, run our shuttle, bring it down just enough to where we got some control. Okay, hold it over there, bring it down, tighten it up. You see our double picots coming into play. Keep it in the pinch. All right, come in with the back side of that double stitch without it clipping on the shuttle. And there you go. Now you can adjust this, whatever you need to do, but you want to put in 4 double stitches. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, before you close your ring, okay, do this. Take your pick, your crochet hook, adjust your picots. You want a little bit of a space between them, not too much, okay? Even it out. Then close your ring. Put it in the pinch and close. Okay? And then you have a ring with a double picot. Now, after you get the ring closed, say you don't like how big this is, you can pull on the outer ring and it will shrink it. Okay? Get it down there with your fingernail. Just keep the ring in the pinch so that the ring itself doesn't distort. And adjust everything. Don't drop it, just adjust it. Okay? And there you go. That's how you do a double picot. Now, to do a triple picot, that gets more fun. All right, so we're going to move on down here on the thread. Just grab us a spot here, and we're going to make another ring. All right, we're going to put in 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right. Once you get your 4 double stitches in, we got to work that picot up. Okay, what you want to do is grab and pull around. Now, because this is a double picot, it needs to be a little bigger than the last one. Put in that 1 double stitch. Walk that double stitch over to meet the others. Okay, because you don't want it to twist. If it does, roll it back. Okay. Once you get it adjusted, then close the picot over. Pull it up. Okay. Now, got to get some more thread. Open that ring. The picot straightened up. And we're going to put in a double stitch. And we're going to put in a smaller picot. Okay. And we're going to pull that up. Now we want this picot to go over, so we have to put in another double stitch. And we go up through that picot, we grab our thread. Okay? Now we pull it down. Grab it, work it down, work it down, work it down until it comes over, and then put in the second half of that double stitch. Now we're going to adjust this picot. Okay, I need to get that center one quite big enough, but that you'll get the gist of it. Now we're going to put in our 4 double stitches. That's 1, 2, and this is 3, and there's 4. Okay. Hi, Monica. Glad you can make it. All right, now, there's our triple picot. We have 1 in the center and then 2 outliers. Okay? Now for the quadruple. This one's a job because you're going to make 2 double picots on top of each other. Okay? So we're going to scooch over just a little bit and we're going to tat our ring. Go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now this first picot, this sucker's got to be big, real big. So what I do if I'm going to make a quad, I will pull my stitches clean back on the other back side of my knuckle to give myself enough of a picot for that 2 double picot space. Okay, then I walk it down, walk my picot down. It is going to twist. You fight with it, you argue with it, but you show it who's boss. Okay, you are the boss of the thread. The thread is not boss of you. You show it who is the boss. All right, come on, work your way over. Come on, around, around. And if it twists, you just pull it around. You force it around the way it needs to go. Your caps need to go up top, like right here. This one over here needs to twist back around. That shuttle through. I don't know how that thread got caught in Gypsy over here. So you can see that quad can be a pain in the bazooka. You've got to play with your threads. Get them all lined up. There you are. There you are. There you are. We're getting there. We're getting there. She's all twisted around. Had to open it. It's got to back off. Of story of my life. It just does not like me. There we go. We got it. I won. It lost. I won. Now we got this humongous picot, right? We got to open that ring up. Now we're going to put in a double stitch, just one. Now we're going to make another double picot. Okay. So we slide up on our thread, get enough thread for the double picot. Put our first stitch in, slide that one over. Once I get all this lined up, you're going to see this one here is a little smaller than the other. Okay. And of course, when I pulled it over, it twisted. Yes. There we go. Now this picot here is smaller than this one. Now we're going to open that ring up. I'm going to put in a double stitch right there. Okay. Now we're going to take this first double picot and make a double picot. Okay. Pull it down. Bring the other half of that forward. There it is. Bring it over. Latch it down. Bring in the second half. Once you get the second half, you adjust your thread. Tug, pull, whatever you need to do to line up. Put in another double stitch. Most times there's more than one double stitch between. Okay. Grab it. I'm going to grab it from the front side first. Okay. Now you got to grab the right thread on the back. All right. Now you ready? Put in that second half. Slide it over. Got it. Got a problem there. There it goes. We got it. Pull that back up. And you play and you adjust. Now, all four of these loops are adjustable at this point. But what I like to do is go ahead and finish that ring out and then adjust. So we put in 4, 2, 3, and 4. Now I'm going to show you something. Watch that shuttle. That's how much twist this put in there. Okay? So let your twist out and close that ring. All right. Now we got a bunch of picots here. What I do is I lay it down on the table and I say, okay, this one needs to come up just a little bit more. That one sits good there. And I just start working with them, you know? And that's what you do. You work with them until it looks like you want it to look. Now, I don't think the quadruple picot is as pretty as the triple picot. No, there's no handouts for it. Okay? I haven't found the documents on this yet. I'm still looking for them, Corinne. If anybody knows where they could possibly be, let me know. Jeremy, you're good for that. So, with that said, the last one we're going to do is a wide picot. This is so easy. This one is easy. It's the easiest one out of all. We're going to give ourselves some room. And as you can see, all my little sample threads is all still together. So we're going to put 4 double stitches. That's 3, 4. Ready for that big jumbo picot? We walk it down, pull the thread, walk it down, put the first stitch in. We're going to pull it over. Okay, once you get it in, then you're going to put in 2 more double stitches. 1 and 2. Now, you see this bottom thread? You're going to catch it right here. Okay? Feed it down. Pull it down. Okay? Pull it down. Now, second half of that, are you ready? Come on the back side and you go through the loop. All right, we're doing the second half. Okay, so the second half, flip that stitch, and pull it all over here. Come on. Get there, get there, get there. And you have to really play with this to get that thread in the right spot on the back side. Okay. It's catching right there. Let me do that again. It caught. You quit catching on me, you little turkey. All right. We got 2 double stitches. We're going to go down through here. Grab it. Run our shuttle up through. Pull it down. Then we're going to go back side. Okay. You have to go get over. You have to come in through the back side and do the second half. If it lays right, it's in business. If it doesn't, then we're not in business. There it goes. It's laying in. That core, the other half will lay on the back side of your work. Once you do that, put in your 4 double stitches and close the ring. That one flipped? No. That one didn't flip. I don't like using this multicolor thread for sampling, but that's what I had on the shuttle. As you can see, it didn't flip. There we go. Gotcha. It's 2, 3, and 4. Now, close the ring. You're going to see the big picot. There's your big picot. And you've got 4 stitches in between. All right. Okay, your mind's blown. I told you. Today would be your day. All right. So is there any questions on any of this? Any questions, guys? Don't forget all your little sample rings. Get you a little dish and put them in it. Any kind of dish. Keep it on your desk, on your craft table, and just pick them up. See, these are all usable scraps. You want to join these? You want to try a new trick? This is what you grab. It's stuff like this. That way you're not wasting anything. Let me switch cameras. I can get my mouse to say hello. There she is. Good morning. All right. Let's see what we've got here. Now, what I want you to do, I'm not asking y'all to do the double, triple, quadruple picot. I just want the one double picot. That is the most commonly used. People don't torture themselves. Okay. And when you get past the triple picot, it's considered torture. Okay. This is what your triple picot looks like right here. This one here. You've got a single picot in the center with the double that goes over. Right here. Okay. That's the one. See? This one here, I have not seen it in any pattern, but you now know how to do it if you want to play with it and use it. This one here, I have seen in a smaller version, used as an animal ear, like as Anna said, Mickey Mouse ears. But you can do the same thing with just a regular picot. Just make it really big and you got Mickey Mouse ears. So, you know, it's to each his own. I don't advise doing these on needle unless you really are glutton for punishment. I would do it. The Josephine chain, the Josephine knots. Yes, needle. Do them on needle. The Josephine knot, do it on shuttle because it's so tiny and it's so few stitches. The most I've seen in a Josephine knot, now mind you, there could be more, but was 11 or 11 single halves, and that was it. That was the largest Josephine knot I'd seen. Yeah, you're right. Play with it, Anna. Show us what you got. But these are things now, just because a pattern says it's a ring, you can change that ring. Okay? You can change anything in any pattern to make it look like you want it to look. You can change your chains. Change your chains. Say that 3 times in a row. Man, my tongue don't work that way. But yeah, you can change anything your heart's desire in a pattern to give it a different look. Doesn't have to be all rings and chains. It's what you do with those rings and chains. You've seen the lark's head picot joint. Easiest picot joint to get the look of solidarity, especially if you're using front side, back side. Using front side, back side with the lark's head picot joint is an awesome, awesome, awesome way to do it. Will a Josephine knot come out as in become pulled out? No, not if you make a knot, but if you do a Josephine ring where the half stitches are billowy and hanging loose, you withstand a chance of it coming out. That's why I say I wouldn't make it into a ring with the loose stitches. I would do the tight stitches and make it a knot. And even on needle, the Josephine knot is not that bad. It's really not. Let me show you. I do it real quick. I'll show you what one looks like on needle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now we're going to roll it around and we're going to close our ring. Pull that through. And on needle, it's not that bad. It really isn't. It gives it the billowy effect of a Josephine ring. And it looks like it better on shuttle than I do needle. Trying to get it to where I can tie a knot in it. There we go. Now I'm going to show you this. This is a Josephine knot on needle. You see how it's all fluffy? That's what it looks like on needle. And if you catch this on anything, if you've got a regular chain after this knot, less likely of it being pulled out, but it still can be pulled out because if you get on these little loops, it can pull it. So I would make it a knot, not a ring, if it was me. This needle is too big for this size spread. I'm just saying. This is more for size 3. Okay. So, any other questions? So, do you think you'll use any of these techniques in the future? Because right now you're just practicing. You've got to get them down here, get the muscle memory built up here, and then the two work hand in hand when you use it. There are some things that just don't leave you. So, you got to find your needles. You'll find them. All right. Any more questions, folks? If not, then I want you to take next few days. I want to see what you do. I definitely want to see you do the lark's head picot joint. Okay. That is an important joint. There are patterns, horn patterns that everybody wants to do. Patterns. You didn't hear me say that out loud, but his patterns look beautiful with the lark's head picot joint. Just saying. So you want to give a better look to your pattern that you're doing. I advise you learning that one. Next week, the technique I'm going to teach you is cap and roll joins, split loose joints. Same thing. It's just 2 different ways to do it. So that'll be next week. We'll get into some of the more prolific joins that we do. But that lark's head picot joint, I wanted y'all to learn because I can see where this will benefit you all in your patterns that you're doing. Now, Thursday, we have a treat of a pattern coming up for Thursday, and it's a surprise. Can't give it to you yet, but you're going to enjoy it. And we will use the lark's head picot joint come Thursday. All right. So with that said, there's no more questions. Thank you, Carmen. I do appreciate you all coming. I hope I, give you insight and give you some hints, pointers, and so forth that you can use in your own tapping. And if you have any questions, drop me a line at the online tatting class at gmail.com. I will respond to you. After dinner time, I don't respond to anybody, and I won't respond find anybody tonight because my little doggy last night got cold and the legs on this thing was popping and moaning and groaning. And every time it popped, she would bark. So yeah, it was a rough night last night. I got maybe 30 minutes sleep. So tonight after supper, I will be doing the Z. So with that, thank you all for coming. I hope all of your threads make beautiful lace. If you need me, holler. I'll answer you. And for your homework tonight, well, until next week, is the lark's head picot join and the double picot. That is all that you need to turn into me. I just want to see you do it because you're going to have a ball doing it. And make you up a bunch of these rings. Doesn't matter your count. Just make sure your picot's in the center, okay? So that you can use it to join too. And empty out shuttles. All right. I'm glad you came, Fred. Nice to see you. You're welcome, Elise. Thank you, Melinda. Hi, Julie. I didn't even see you come in. I'm glad you made it. So with that, I am going to call it a night, and I will see you all on Thursday, same time, same classroom, different link. I'll send it out on Wednesday. Y'all have a good night, and I'll see you on Thursday. Bye-bye for now.